Welcome back to Seen It Before, where we're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, and I actually don't have a witty thing to say to you today. I don't know. I usually say something like, I don't know.
I have something. You're a dick.
Oh. Okay, well, you know, that's uncalled for, but it's fine. So, this week, we are going to another big franchise, but we're just going to do one of the movies for now. We're going to ease ourselves into it.
We're going to be fingering this franchise.
Shut the fuck up. Okay. We got two guests today. We got our good friend Pat here. He's a pretty big Lord of the Rings guy here.
Yeah, I will say I've fallen off in the last few years because, I didn't master Elvish as a language because that was too far.
That's crazy.
I will say that was too far.
Yeah.
It's like the Klingon of this universe.
Yeah, I legitimately learned part of it in high school, and into college I was able to read Tolkien's poetry in Elvish.
Really?
Yeah, that was a lot of time spent.
Yeah, I learned a little bit of High Valyrian from Game of Thrones, a little bit.
I'm surrounded by nerds. All right.
It could be worse.
It could be.
I could have done my full introduction in Elvish.
Nope. And our other guest today is my good friend Nate. He's also very big. You're a very big Lord of the Rings fan. And he's been on a few of our episodes before, as has Patrick. On our old podcast, actually. Not on the new one.
We don't speak of it.
We don't bring it up. But we actually we do.
We do, because a lot of our favorite TikToks or big TikToks came from that podcast. So, especially like the series that we did with Marvel. Because our biggest one was the Cap time traveler thing.
Oh yeah.
He's at his own, or at Peggy's funeral. That's our biggest one.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are only watching the Fellowship of the Ring, so let's just dive right into that, and let's get to it.
All right, so we just watched Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, or LOTR, FOTR.
Lord of FOTR?
LOTR, FOTR.
All right, if that's what you want to call it. All right, let's start with Nate. Nate, we're going to start with the book. Have you ever read the book before? The original novel?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, lots of times.
Yeah?
It's not exactly a faithful adaptation of the book, but for the transition from book to movie, it's about as good as you can get.
Yeah,
agreed.
That's very much where I'm
at least
at.
I took it upon myself to start reading the series. I wanted to finish the whole book, but I'm a terrible reader, and I only read the first book. So
chapter at a time, right?
Yeah, just a chapter a day, and then I skipped 4 or 5 days, and you gotta wait for me. So I liked, for the first half of the book, I enjoyed most of it. But I found out the only stuff that I read was maybe an hour of the movie. Yeah. So it's not even I didn't even get to the good part yet.
It just speeds through for a little while. As far as the movie goes, you're just wait a minute. There's a lot of book here, and that's not a lot of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 45 minutes we clocked it at?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Or they cut out granted, you guys are going to find this out. I'm not a huge fan of Tolkien, apparently. But I do think a lot of what the movie did, Nate's all surprised. There's a lot of it that, at least in the first half, that they were right to cut out a lot of that stuff. Tom Bombadil, most annoying character I think I've ever met.
Yeah.
Fucking hate him. I'm glad they cut him out. And then they mentioned Farmer Maggot's place. And then they cut out the thing which they did include was the Barrow Whites, or the Barrow Downs, that part. And I'm glad they got rid of the fucking forest. That was stupid. But anyway.
What about you, Nate? What's something you wish was in the movie that was in the book that didn't make the movie cut?
So the whole sequence where they're with the Barrow Whites, I actually found that really interesting and thought they probably could have done something with that. Kind of tie it into the fact that they had Saruman's spies and servants all over the place watching for him. But overall, I think it was probably for the best that they cut all that stuff out, because it adds a lot of runtime to an already really long movie.
Yeah, the extended editions are 3.5 hours,
which is what I rewatched.
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and during it was like an interview for the Hobbit. Peter Jackson was asked like because we found out the Hobbit was going to be 3 parts or whatever. Peter Jackson basically was like, "Yeah, no, this is how I wish I could have done the trilogy."
Oh, okay.
Like he wanted to do more, but like he understood that like people watching more casual fans of Lord of the Rings were not going to be like sitting there for 18 hours of movie. Like, he's gotten that with all 6 of them, not just, Fellowship.
Didn't he made some shit up for the Hobbit trilogy, right? Like he just like
Yeah, there was a lot more added into that was just kind of for excitement.
Yeah, I skimmed that book in high school and just like that. My teacher always had a picture. It was like, it's like a comparison, like The Hobbit, written by J.R.R. Tolkien, just an average sized book, and then The Hobbit by Peter Jackson was like piled up,
What about you, Pat? Is there a scene you wish from the book?
I will say, I have. Last time I reread the book was a while ago. It was actually like before college, and I just have not sat down with it. And it's been far too long. I was planning on it, but life got away from me.
Yeah, as it got away from Danny.
It's a big book, man. Two Towers is a little bit smaller, but like I'm intimidated because I got all 5 books. I got the Unfinished Tales and Silmarillion. I'm intimidated by those books.
I know. I was telling this to Dan earlier. I have not read the book of the Silmarillion.
Yep.
I read the epic.
What was the difference then?
The epic is a poem. It's a 5,000 line poem.
Okay.
Which is what Tolkien actually wrote. A lot of some of his other works had been converted into books by his son.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure the Silmarillion was one of those, or it was one of Tolkien's last things or whatever. But it was originally just a poem, and I've read that a few times, not the actual Silmarillion.
I'm scared of it, man.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Big book.
See, you guys are all talking about this, and I've just never read the book because I don't read because I'm just special. I'm special.
What was that one card we were playing Stir the Pot last night?
Oh my God.
And it's like most likely to never read a book or hasn't read a book in 2 years or whatever.
Nobody picked me. I don't. Or did they?
I definitely picked
I
you.
know
I remember
did, but
that.
it wasn't your card. I don't think. Wasn't it Alex's?
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he picked me. I think he picked Nick or something. I don't know. But it was a time. Yeah, I haven't read since middle school.
Ooh.
Like consistently read since middle school. Like I've read a book here and there, but I don't read. I don't read.
Yeah, no, like I know my copy of Lord of the Rings is on my shelf in the basement, but like it's buried behind my stack of Marvel comic books.
All right, everyone. Let's get into the movie now because this is a bore of a movie. 3 hours, 3.5 hours if you watch the extended cut. So, yeah. So it starts off with the prologue and everything that happened with the Hobbit trilogy, which it was
same thing in the book.
Yeah,
like I read the prologue or whatever it's called, or the preamble. Is it that old where it's called a preamble?
I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know. But the first note I wrote was, damn, these effects are really good for 2001.
Yeah.
Like some of it's a little campy with like the guys getting flung into the air and everything, but it was really well done and I appreciated it.
Yeah.
Like, a lot.
And I've said this now a few times in the last 24 hours. Lord of the Rings did the same thing as Jurassic Park, where they tried to do everything practically. With camera effects, but like in person. And then where they needed CGI, they used it to cover the little errors or the little things. If they had to have half a screen be one thing and half a screen be the other, that's where they used the CG to blend it. But otherwise they didn't rely on it too heavily.
Yeah, that's how you're
Until they
supposed to use
had
CGI.
to.
Yeah.
Unlike now.
We have entire
as I
Marvel
mentioned earlier,
movies.
Phantom Menace.
Yes.
same time frame basically, and
Yeah.
not very
George is trying.
George.
He tried. He tried. That's all I can say.
Yeah, Sean's gonna get mad at me if I keep talking about this.
Peter just pulled it off better.
Yeah. Same that like David Fincher uses CGI tastefully. Like he created like I remember the Girl and Dragon Tattoo. Like they created a real fire and then they expanded the fire with CGI. So like that's how you're supposed to use it. But yeah, I like that they got put this exposition about the rings up front because like you hated that apparently, right? Did you say that?
No, there was so much exposition, but I do realize now through the end of the movie it was needed for the movie, and I do understand now. Like at the moment, I was just like, man, this is fucking dragging, and just like I was like, oh god. But like after I got through most of the movie, like it did make more sense, and I was like, okay.
Yet again, the start of the movie does start with Tolkien's poetry.
Yes.
Like the whole, 3 rings to the elven lords, 7 to the dwarfs, 9 to the king, mortal men, all of that. That's a full poem.
I barely read that, but
Yeah.
I thought it was a song. I'm just skip.
Yeah, no, a lot of the songs later are longer. But that's only like 12 lines or something like that.
Yeah.
Very early on, Gandalf reads. He either
like,
finishes it or reads a whole one, really short one, word for word.
Yeah, well, because he reads what's on the one ring.
Yeah.
Like I remember reading that. I'm like, one ring to rule them all, one to find them, to bring them out of the shadows or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, to bring them into
You're
the
like so
darkness,
disappointed. You're like, yeah.
bring them into the darkness and bind them. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I see. Like I'm a sucker for exposition, so I like.
Yes, you are.
My favorite chapter in what I've read is chapter 2, where Gandalf is like, "Here's everything you need to know about the fucking ring." And it's like, shit, it's so cool.
So you say all this, and then you're like, oh, Eternal sucks. That's all exposition.
It was boring exposition. I don't want to read when I'm watching a movie, Dan.
I had to bring it up. I'm sorry.
Like that's okay. I don't love the Star Wars crawls.
Yeah.
I don't love that. But at least like they shortened it to 3 paragraphs. Eternals was like fucking 3 pages long, just being like there was once. I don't even know the Celestials.
I don't know
some shit, which we already know that from other. Never mind.
Okay. Moving on. Pat, what do you got here for any notes in the beginning?
So it was just because last time I was talking to you guys on a podcast, it was for Marvel.
Yes.
One of the things that was brought up and was pointed out during Marvel research was Bucky read a different version of The Hobbit than other people because he read the original release.
Oh yeah.
Which had Bilbo winning the ring in that little riddle battle.
Because I remember that I'm not sure
originally he won the ring, but for Lord of the Rings he found it because as Tolkien was writing Lord of the Rings, he changed it. He went back and retroactively, retconned it a little bit.
And then he did like a meta thing, right?
Well, no, to change how the ring was changing people's minds and how it was corrupting. So that way it was something that, Gollum, Smeagol dropped and Bilbo found instead of winning from, because Gollum originally offered
tell him the riddles and shit.
it as a prize for the riddle.
Yeah, but like in everything we know about Gollum, he would never do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it was changed.
Now I know I sort of mentioned this to you earlier today, Pat.
Yes.
But so I know they do a lot of forced perspective in the Hobbit scenes and everything. How did they do that hug with Gandalf and Bilbo?
They had multiple actors. Mm-hmm. They hired Ian McKellen to do Gandalf.
Yeah.
But then they hired a guy who was 1.5 feet taller than him just to be a body double. It's like, all right, bring in big Gandalf. And there's Elijah Wood hugging big Gandalf.
See, I thought it was a child. They just used like a child from the back for Bilbo, and then they used...
Well, and that's what they did for Ian McKellen. They had someone smaller than Elijah Wood come in to do the other half of it.
Oh, I get it.
Makes sense.
So, but there's there's several photos of multiple actors together.
Yeah, so I feel like that's common knowledge, but like I just didn't know that because I'm not a huge fan of this series. So that's actually really cool to know.
I just remember seeing like the behind the scenes years ago that how they did like the moving camera shots. They moved the tables to. I remember like one specific shot where Gandalf's eating or whatever, and then Bilbo's walking to like from like left to right, and they moved the camera from right to left, and I saw like the tables moved at the same time with the camera. It's so fucking cool, dude.
They did so many like little intricate things that were done on set.
Yeah,
beautifully.
Yeah, then the one shot where they're like on the Misty Mountains and they drop the ring and like right before Boromir picks it up, he like they made a bigger ring, like a prop ring to like put next to the camera.
Nate, you got anything?
Nothing really for the intro. You guys
Not really
have covered it pretty extensively.
Okay.
I like the intro. I think that the exposition is just enough that it lets you know the stakes, but not so much that it's like overbearing. But that's just me.
Okay, yeah. There's not really much going on at the beginning anyway. It's all just set up and everything, yada, yada, yada.
Not much happens throughout the whole book. Like,
I mean, yeah.
They walk.
You know.
they walk and 2 people die. You know, that's it.
Yeah, the next thing I have is Gandalf getting whipped around like a rag doll.
Yeah, so that's not in the book. Like, we don't see anything from Gandalf's perspective or any. I'm not even sure if we meet Saruman in the first book. Do we? Or like,
Gandalf talks about him a lot.
like he praises him. Like I remember he's being like, not even the wisest Saruman could be corrupted by the ring, but he is. So
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, at the Council of Elrond, he in the books at least, he's going like, so Sauron's gone completely insane.
it's like, yeah, this guy's off his rocker.
I don't think you meet Saruman as a character. I think you just
You just hear about him. Oh, so that's interesting.
I mean,
is interesting.
Christopher Lee does such a great job.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Let's see here.
But that's got to be like an uncomfortable jail cell that he's in.
Oh my god, yeah.
I know that like Tolkien started it, like all this stuff, but like I've seen so much of his stuff redone, remixed in different media, like the battle scene, like where like the ring gets cut off from, like Isildur cuts off the ring from Sauron. That's like straight out of fucking Thor: The Dark World. Like I've seen that, and like we'll get to it later, but the Mirror of Galadriel, I think that's what it's called. That's just like the looking glass, like pool of pond thing that Harry Potter looks into to see his memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the whole time.
It's like, Joan, you took it.
I did a lot of digging into some things that were a little more lore based because
I know nothing about the lore, so
because it was more like things just to like show off like how old like elves are. Like
yeah, they're 3,000 something years old.
Elrond's been living for like 3,000 years.
Yeah.
Like the hobbits, like it's hilarious when you realize like Frodo's the only like technical adult.
Yeah, like because
Merry and Pippin are still considered like teenagers. And they're just like off on an adventure, and then they're like, "Oh, we signed up for not the right thing."
it's like our weird uncle's going to deliver this ring.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, but they don't really express it in the movie, but in the book, like Bilbo disappears after his 111th birthday. Then Frodo at the time is 33. Is like his when he becomes a man, right? It's like the bar mitzvah type thing. He waits like 17 years after that when he turns 50, because that's how old Bilbo was when he went on his adventure.
Yep.
So like they don't really express that in the movie, but like
He's like
Frodo's like fucking 50 when he leaves.
Yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to bring up too. Is like since he doesn't have the ring anymore, does that make him age quicker, or is it actually 20 years in the movie? Because like it's never really fully expressed.
Like one of the reasons why Gollum doesn't age later is because he spent 500 years with it. The magic that was holding him together still holds on a little bit longer. Bilbo is kind of a little bit less.
So is it like immediate?
It's a combination of both. Like longer exposure to the ring, he would still be able to live longer, obviously. But
I wish that was explained a little better, because there's like one scene he's there, then he's leaving again.
Yeah, you see him walk out the door, and it's like he's a spry 50, 60-year-old human. He's fine.
Yeah.
And then you see him, and he's like hobbling around Rivendell, and you're like, oh, don't break a hip, Bilbo.
Yeah, because I did see like one scene, like he had Bilbo gave Gandalf the ring, and then the next, like, it's in an envelope on top of the fireplace. Like, how did it get in an envelope?
You must have missed that. They showed like 3 close-up shots of that.
I must have missed it.
Like,
I remember seeing it.
Gandalf like has like a drunken moment of staring into the fire with the ring sitting at the door, because that's where Bilbo dropped it, and Gandalf was not sure if it was the One Ring yet, so he didn't touch it.
Okay.
And then like Frodo walks in and just like picks it up like it's no big deal. And Gandalf's like, put it in here. Just
I
like,
definitely
hide it.
missed that, man. Okay. Got it.
Anyway, so from what I remember in the book, they fucking go through like they go off on their adventure, and there's this whole thing where Bilbo like Frodo sells all his shit, and like there's like a rivalry with the Sackville Bagginses, and like they fucking hate him, just because he's a cousin or the nephew or whatever,
Yep.
and they finally go off on their adventure. We skip basically everything that happens, and then just go right to the Prancing Pony. Like that's like straight shot, and we meet Strider, who turns out to be Aragorn. And on the way, we see the Nazgul, the Ring Wraiths,
The ring wraiths, yeah.
and
Dope as shit.
yeah, like Dementors, Joan, take all of
Or I think I noticed like, oh, they look like Death from Family Guy. Like when Death was a character.
Yeah.
Like it's so fucking.
I mean, that
funny.
was very much a disguise.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a reference made, like they were being hidden as riders in black.
Yeah.
Because as you see in other, Return of the King, the Witch King's terrifying.
Yeah.
And he is the one that
I'll have to
stabs Frodo.
So right. But they all look the same when he put on the
Yeah.
ring and stuff.
Yeah, like
I'm just confused on because I always thought the Witch King was Sauron's like human form or some shit like that.
No.
Like, and then I may be wrong about this, but I don't know her name, but a girl says, "I am no man," and like slays
Yeah,
her, right? Okay. I've seen like little clips of that.
No, the nine men doomed were all big kings of, the world. Fell to the power of the ring.
That's what.
Well, yeah. So like,
I'm connecting the dots
yeah.
now.
But like, you obviously see other rings of power with Galadriel, and like the elves are a little bit more resistant because they understand the magics of the rings better. Whatever. I don't remember what happens to the dwarves.
Well, they'll fucking die in the mines of Moria.
The dwarves basically just go into their mountain halls and never come out again.
Okay.
Yeah, well, sucks for them. Poor Gimli,
I always
though.
forgot.
He's the last air dwarf.
So,
Rip.
yeah, I jumped into a little bit of lore there. That was, I'll get into when we get more towards the mines because we're still kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think so. My favorite character is Aragorn. I know I'm a sucker for because I don't know. I like that trope where it's just like he's the rightful king and like he's like away from his throne, because that gives him a chance to prove that he really is the true king, right? And that's done a bunch of different times, Daenerys in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just like him as a character, and I like that he's like secretly Strider, and he's a ranger.
Viggo Mortensen does such a good job with it too.
Yeah,
Like, I love the actor.
yeah, he's great. He was in an underrated movie. I think it was Mr. Fantastic or Captain Fantastic. That's what it is. Not Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like plays like a single father, and he raises all his kids in the wilderness.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
good.
heard of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably basic. I think I'm gonna say Gandalf. Honestly.
Okay.
He's my favorite. He's just
Fair enough.
overpowering wizard. You shall not pass. It's
It's a pretty badass line.
It's pretty badass. Like he sacrificed himself. It's cool. It works for his character. He's trying not to be corrupted by the ring. He's getting flown around like a rag doll. I mean, he's
been through it.
yeah, he's
man.
been through it. He's been through the dryer, through the ringer. That's the word.
Through the
Through
dryer.
the dryer. He's through the dryer.
Just see him tumbling.
All of the heat.
I mean, yeah, he was getting flung around, so it kind of works.
I will say, I have my favorite character is Gimli for two reasons. One, he's hilarious throughout the movies.
Yeah.
But the other thing is the actor.
Okay.
So, behind the scenes thing, Vigo, Orlando, they would all work with the extras, mostly the orcs, to like script out a fight. The actor who played Gimli would just go, "You come at me, I hit you. Go down. You come at me, I hit you. You go down." And the extras were like, "Oh yeah, that's fine, whatever." So they'd charge at him, and he'd hit him, but like Vigo would like knock a sword out, hit him lightly.
Yeah,
even though he was using like live steel throughout the whole thing.
God.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Aragorn was using live steel.
Shit.
But no, Gimli's sitting there with his axe just bashing extras. Oh, no holds barred, just hitting extras, and extras are dropping, and he's like, "All right, you're dead." Like, next one. They're like, "Oh, we got to do a scene with him again." No.
All right, we got to do this again. This is the 5th time. You can't actually keep hitting the extras. They're just bruised.
Peter Jackson's like, "This is great. Like, it looks so real."
Method acting, yeah.
To a whole new level.
And he's just like, "All right, do I have to do it again?" And the extra's like, "Please no, please no."
What are you, Nate? What's your favorite character?
I think my favorite character is Sam Gamgee, because he's kind of like the moral compass, the glue that's holding them all together. And at any time they're really struggling, he comes through with motivational like stuff.
Motivational
Just a motivational quote. Just like,
got you, Mr.
teamwork makes the dream work.
Honestly, yeah, he's like the Bucky to Cap type of thing. The Bucky to Steve relationship with Frodo.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I related to. And yeah, it works. It works. But I don't know. I don't like Frodo. I do not like Frodo.
Frodo, he's got main character syndrome, where it's just like everything revolves around him. He doesn't have much character going on, so it's like, he has like a little bit of temptation with the ring, but you see that with Boromir.
So one of the things that I did note after like watching the whole movie, I'm like, Frodo's kind of a dick in this one.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because he keeps going like, "Do you want it?" And like seeing all these people of like massive power being like, "I would be the Dark Lord." And then like, it's like, stop doing that.
Do you want to kill everyone?
You've done it once. And like Gandalf's like, no.
Yeah, so like now you understand.
And then you do it with Galadriel, and like she goes on a rant, and you're like, "Oh, oops."
Although she's like,
This is not just an oops moment.
she like pats
up,
herself
Frodo.
on the back. She's like, "Oh, I passed the test."
That was such a weird fucking scene. Oh my God. That scene threw me off so much.
I'm not one who can like really follow like poetry words. Like I hate Shakespeare. Like I can't.
Same.
So when she started talking like all in like tongues and shit, I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Tuned
"What
out.
the fuck are you saying, bro?"
Just eyes glossed over.
And then I see her like going, "I will take the ring," and I'm just like, "Frodo, run away."
And Kate Blanchett, yeah. It's just
So she's the narrator, right?
she has to be, right?
What?
Kate Blanchett. Isn't she the narrator of the movie?
I believe
In
so,
the beginning?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, because she seems like she seems way more wiser than Gandalf, right? Like
so
her and
that's
Elrond are probably the wisest characters.
So that's the thing. Part of my lore dump was getting into races and how long people have been living and all this stuff. We saw Elrond, Galadriel. Those guys have been living since the Second Age. So they're like 2,000 years plus.
right?
Gandalf is not an old wizard.
Fucking looks like it.
That's the form he's taken. He's a Maiar. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. Maia. He's like an immortal demigod. Mm-hmm. And basically throughout the ages, he's just him and Saruman. You see Radagast in The Hobbit. Mm-hmm. They take these forms of somebody to help out Middle Earth.
Okay.
So that's not always been Gandalf's form.
So the shapeshifters.
Yeah, but they're immortal and they're super wise and old and know stuff.
Interesting.
Where's Sam and Dean?
Yeah,
So why would they choose to look like a guy with back problems?
probably to make it more, relatable. Or
Make their hobbits like feel like a little taller because he's crunching down a little bit.
yeah, no, it's probably it'd be I got to go biblical here. When you look at the Bible, angels are terrifying.
Yeah, I
And
saw
the
like a
first
biblically
words out of
accurate.
their mouths are always "Don't be scared."
Because they're just a giant fucking eyeball with wings, right?
They're all these weird shapes. They're not humanoid in any way.
Yeah.
Christianity has slowly made them more humanoid.
Yeah.
So they're not terrifying to draw pictures of. Gandalf's doing the same thing.
It's like, just chill, everybody. I'm just like you.
He's an old man
Except I wear
with
shoes.
a stick who walks in with and has a really cool hat and a sword at his hip, and everyone's like, "Ah, yes, we can relate to him."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, I wanted somebody to explain to me what all the different races. So it's like the ones that I understand are men, dwarves, elves, sorcerers, There's fucking. I heard Numenorians, which are sort of like humans, I guess. And then there's goblins, and then trolls and shit. So, what's the other one?
The Dunedain is mentioned. You don't really learn about that in this movie or this book, but that's what Aragorn is. He's basically a human with a very long lifespan.
Aragorn?
Yeah. He's 80.
Oh, I thought he was just a dude.
He's 80.
He's 80?
He's 80.
What's his secret?
He's a Dunedain.
And then, what? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's like a lot of shit, right?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And if you're not like, the internet is amazing. I'm so glad that I'd like started intaking Lord of the Rings in the internet age. Cause
Yeah.
oh God, if it was just books.
If you were like Bucky, is like, I read it in 1937.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
All right, let's go back to the ring rates for a second. This may be an obvious answer, but obviously novice here. So why can't the ring rates cross water?
I believe it's that water.
It's that water?
Yeah,
It's a Rivendell shore.
The water is like magical and pure because elves, and that's the explanation.
Huh. Okay, that's
Fair enough.
Hey,
I mean,
that's fine. Yeah, I
Like
just
they
didn't know.
can cross a normal river, but because it's Rivendell,
Yeah, okay.
they can't cross that river.
okay.
Did not know that.
Also,
Okay.
props to the actors for the Nazgul because they had, I think it was 50 to like 70 pounds worth of armor and robes on at all times during their scenes.
Jesus.
Wow.
And the other thing is like that chase scene. Those were all barrel racing horses. So you're riding in 50 pounds of stuff at a 45-degree angle on a horse.
Yeah, that gravity doesn't like you very much.
No, I don't know how they did it, and I don't want to know how they did it. Just good job, guys.
I don't know if Peter wants to know how they did it.
From his editing couch.
There's another thing about ring wraiths. I think there's a quick shot. Did that ring wraith have a fucking toe knife like in James Bond?
I think that's just part of his boot.
It is.
That was so cool.
See, when
I
you
was
say
like,
toe
yo.
knife, I don't think of like a knife coming out of the shoe. I think of
No.
like Frank from Always Sunny. Oh, my toe knife! He's taking the
I
shit
don't
out
think
of
of
his toe.
No, I straight up think of James Bond, like the old lady. It's like, whoa, why you got a knife come out of your toe there?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that's the boot.
Okay, cool. That's kind of cool.
That'd be so funny if like Danny DeVito makes a cameo in here. Because he could play a hobbit, right? You know, like
He's short
He could
enough.
be a body double.
he could be Tom Bombadil.
Oh my god.
What? Or is he a hobbit? Or like I forget. Because he's in the Shire, right? Or no, he's part of the woods or some shit like that, right?
No one really knows what Tom Bombadil is. It's really like up in the air.
Yeah. Either way, I hate him. So
Strong words there. Hate is a strong word.
he's so he rescues him twice, and he's all like, "Oh, bimba dibba doo, I'm Tom Bombadil." He fucking sings a song. And he's got this like I'm not sure if it's his wife or something or his daughter, but she's just as annoying.
I don't know, man. Pippin's pretty annoying too.
Hey,
Pippin is
you get out of here with that talk.
Pippin is the one who isn't Dominic Monaghan, right? Charlie from Lost.
Yes.
Because yeah. So I in the book, Mary just goes off somewhere and was like,
He's the klutz. The drunk one, the klutz. That's
Pippin.
Pippin, yeah.
Or he's the one who's like, we need to have second breakfast, and fucking Aragorn throws an apple at him.
But
Yes.
I agree. I'm all for second breakfast.
I used to be. But
The Hobbit eating schedule is you wake up and start eating every 2 hours until you go to bed.
smart idea. Yeah?
I'm so hungry, guys.
I've done a Hobbit eating schedule. Don't do it.
Just on accident.
I tried it once as a thing during a Lord of the Rings movie marathon, and it was not a good idea.
Did not end well.
It's funny. It's like just during watching the movies, like you're able to like have an entire day of just eating.
I'm sorry, it was a weekend.
You got to spread it out. So.
Yeah. It's a movie and a half each day.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you're talking
These movies are fucking long, dude.
Then what if you had the Hobbit into that too? Like that's even longer.
It's 18 hours altogether.
Oh my god.
I have not done that one yet. I plan to.
I think it's time.
Speaking of Pippin, though, I for some reason, yeah, I don't know why I wrote this. I said, "Pippin, fuck you, you idiot."
Oh, probably he.
Oh, that was
dropped-
probably Mines of Moria.
Yeah, in the mines where he dropped the thing down the well.
No, I think when he's just like, "Oh yeah, we're traveling with Frodo Baggins. He's from the
that
Shire."
one- yeah, that one too.
Oh,
you idiot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Pippin, you drunk. I have that written down there too. It's like, God damn it.
He didn't even have a pint yet.
He like expresses to them like Frodo's just like, "I'm Underhill," and everyone's just like, "Got it." Even Sam, who's just like, "Yeah, Frodo, I'll suck your dick if you want me to." They're like, he's just like, "Yeah, sure." And Pippin's just like, "We're with Frodo Baggins."
He's right over there. It's like, can you not?
Oh God. There's like a lull for a little bit after they're at the inn or wherever they are. So there's like more just walking, more ring wraiths. Really, this is like the ultimate question. Could they have just, ridden the eagle all the way to Mordor? This would make just everything could go so much faster. And
I know this is a big thing.
it's a big thing. I understand that. But,
I've seen this question before.
yeah.
And basically, there is something with the Eagles. It's basically like they don't want to deal with the ring directly.
Okay.
Okay, so
Eagles,
that's like
the
a
Eagles.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they are also not just like giant eagles. There's some sort of magic to them.
I mean, well, yeah, if they got the ring, they could be like fucking.
They could be everywhere,
Imagine like,
ruling the world.
Imagine a fucking invisible eagle like eats you, just like like they're fucking huge eagles, man. And there's like yeah,
There's a whole group of them.
so I get that where like I saw this film theory where like the thumbnail was like when like Gandalf dies, he's like, "Fly, you fools," and obviously that means run because that's what fly meant, run back then. But like it was like they used it like fucking use the eagles, dumbasses.
Gandalf's the one who summons them.
Yeah, with the butterfly thing.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Magic.
Magic, it's world magic. Is it soft magic or
Demigods.
hard magic, you think?
It's soft.
Soft?
What's the difference?
Yeah, it's soft.
Like Full Metal Alchemist, where like the magic system's explained completely, where like you have this much. I don't really know much about Full Metal Alchemist, give me a second.
Okay, so if you're using Full Metal Alchemist, you have to follow a set of rules to
Right.
do the thing.
It's like matter converts into
Yes.
magic or whatever.
Yeah. No. Yeah. This is very much just like light, and then the staff lights up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know too many like hard magic systems. Then maybe yeah, maybe like Last Airbender. That's kind of hard. Where like you understand how everything works, the mechanics of it. But like Harry Potter's just like Lumos,
I mean, that's a Latin-based
Accio.
language into.
Oh, okay.
Spells.
So it's, okay.
Yeah.
So even that, yeah.
Don't get me on the Harry Potter is Star Wars thing.
No, I don't get that one. That one's stupid. Like, I mean, it's a good joke. The comedian said, but like
That's very much where I stop it. It's
Yeah.
just it's a good joke. Just make everyone go, what? Oh.
with really shitty lightsabers. I get it. Yeah.
When Saruman decided to start cutting down all of the trees near Isengard, they used Ent speech from the other movies as the trees fell.
And speech.
Yeah, the deep moaning and groaning. Yeah, it was a super small thing that, like, when you watch it for the first time while watching the other movies, it's irrelevant. Like, it's just like, it's a big tree and it's fallen. It makes a deep sound. But then you're like, wait a minute, that's like super familiar to later because all the Ents group up and they're having their speech and it sounds the same, just not painful.
That's so cool.
I mean, you guys know I don't know what you're talking. End speech. What is that?
We're gonna stay out of this conversation because I have no idea what's going on here. But you guys keep going.
Ents are giant tree people.
Okay.
Okay.
And the whole forest around Isengard is made of Ents.
Is it like, what do they sound like, throat singing or something?
They recorded it by having the actor who played Gimli read all the lines, and then they played it through like a wooden box several times to make a wooden sound.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting solution to that. Like, let's just like get like a wooden box and just put a fucking.
It was like a 50-foot box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they ran it through like a box, like a tube. It was cool. Oh, another little lore thing: the tower where they camp out and Frodo gets stabbed.
Yeah, like the ruins kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
That-
yeah, that.
That tower is the same place where men and elves made an alliance to go fight Sauron in the Second Age, where Isildur cut off the finger. That's where the two groups came together to decide, let's go invade Mordor.
Okay.
And it's just a little...
So that's like
Little
the
nod.
yeah. So yeah.
There's a lot of like... And Peter Jackson is able to do show these things because like they happen in the book and it's like, oh, it's easy. Like, just build the thing. Because it's there.
What? Was that a fake one or is that real?
No, it's real.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought you
What's
just
it
like
to you?
mimicked it. And you're just like, I'm gonna do it again just to fake it. I thought. Let's get to the elves. I think that's where we go next, right?
Yeah, well, they finally get to Rivendell, and this is different from what I remember in the book. Although I was super drunk when I read this, like 2 chapters, so I don't remember reading the chapter where Frodo gets stabbed. I remember something like they get attacked and his sword like breaks or whatever, but then I don't remember him getting stabbed. And then like the next chapter, he's like in pain and was like, what fucking happened?
Yeah, it's the Ringwraith blade.
Yeah,
They're poison and
yeah, it's like magic
Oliver
poison and shit.
Yeah.
They but in the book, I don't remember Arwen coming in to save Frodo. I remember them kind of like struggling to get to the gates of Rivendell or whatever.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, Arwen doesn't save him in the book. He gets saved by an elf that they don't mention and whose name is currently slipping my mind, and Legolas.
Yeah, so they just, for plot,
Yeah,
they swapped him out, which is...
it's just fine. It's whatever.
Best plot.
I mean, yeah,
I
because
got you.
plot.
Beat you to
Now,
it.
I will say, this does bring up too, because Dan, you had asked me if there was a scene I could cut.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do.
And,
Yeah.
and this is probably an extended edition thing, but it looked like a bad 90s music video after they got to Rivendell and Frodo was healing. And there's just a little bit of Elrond speech, and it's just like Frodo shows up and Elrond fades in behind him, and I'm like, this is... Yeah. This is like a bad 90s music video where like a boy band is singing behind some like actor through a music video.
Yeah,
I don't
this might
like
be
this.
extended cut.
This needs to go, and there's a reason why it was cut then.
I don't remember this.
I remember that. I remember Frodo waking up. This is also something fucking annoying in the books. He falls asleep at the end of every chapter and wakes up in the next chapter. But I remember him falling asleep and waking up in like that was like really weird looking. Where it was like how it was lit and stuff. It's like or it was like Bilbo. It's like slow motion, like hugging him or some shit like that.
Yeah, the
what I would cut.
hobbits greeting each other is always weird.
Yeah, I know at the Return of the King where like it ends like 5 times, like like they all start jumping on the bed together or
Yes.
some shit like that.
Yeah. But no, like in this movie, they all group up, and I'm like, why? Why is it like this?
I really like these movies, so I can't really say that there's any particular scene that I think shouldn't have been in there.
Okay. Sounds good.
This is the first time
think-
we've ever had somebody not cut something
See,
and cut it.
So I recorded some stuff with Nate for this because we didn't know if you were going to be on this, and you said part of the party scene at the beginning, if anything.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Yes.
like if anything, they could have made that scene a bit shorter. Like they didn't do a whole lot of characterization for characters who were going to consistently be in the movie. So it's like didn't need to be as long as it was.
Okay. Cool.
I get that. I would cut out this is because this is like a weird annoying editing mistake. They towards the end, right when they're on the river, we just see them sailing, and then the orcs or the goblin orc things are like coming to attack them, and then it's like really intense. Like I thought they were like right on them, and then it just cuts back to them rowing their boats really slowly.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just like, but then they do it again, where the goblins show up, and so I'm like,
Yeah.
do we have to see that twice? You know, that's
Yeah,
the only thing I'd cut out.
They're trying to create some tension before things, but Having Urukai run through woods is kind of weird.
Yeah. So that's what the Urukai?
Urukai.
Okay.
The scene I would not necessarily cut, but maybe just clean up a little bit is when Frodo had been stabbed for like the second time, and he was just riding on the back of a horse, just fucking dying for like ever. Like, dude, he's on this horse for so long, he should have been dead.
Oh, like the Arwen chase scene?
Yeah, like, dude, he was straight up dead. Like, just fix that up a little bit. There's no way he survived that. Oh my god.
Now, I do have to double back because there's another little group of scene that I would cut. And this is more if you were on the internet in like mid 2000s memes. There's the video of they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, where it's a whole bunch of Lord of the Rings lines over a just techno beat. And I'll play it for you guys after.
I know the meme where like Gandalf like shaking his head. He's like,
oh no, there's that one. No, it's like full like 2-minute song of like they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, and one of the lines in it is like, "Tell me where is Gandalf, for I much desire to speak with him." And that line is burned into my brain because it's said in the movie, and then it immediately my brain just goes, "Ah, yes, the song." Now you just have Orlando Bloom just being like, "They're taking the hobbits to Isengard," stuck in your head for the next week and a half.
Oh my god.
So yes, just look up "they're taking the hobbits to Isengard." All you gotta do is just put that into YouTube, and it'll first thing every time.
since we're talking about memes, there's always like the one does not simply.
Yeah,
I've seen that one so many times.
Quoted wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's just like this is like Luke, I'm your father. It's no, I am your father.
Yes.
But, that's literally. I have a cup. I'm glad they got it right on that one. It's written. Yeah.
My next note, for some reason, is the horse's name is Bill. Like, who names their horse Bill? First of all,
I forgot about
why the fuck is his name?
Gamgee does.
Gamgee, yeah. He must be like, but is that even a common name back then? Like, Bill.
No, that's 100% the writer going, the horse needs a name? Crap.
Bill.
Done.
What's the PA's name? I don't understand. So we were talking about earlier with like the autocorrect, because our thumbs are so big. I don't know what this means, but I want to see Gandalf's true power because she fat. He was made a bitch by Sauron.
Oh, it was probably during the.
Like, who's fat?
It was probably, I don't know. It was probably deciding. I'm just guessing. It was definitely him screaming at Boromir during the ring when the Fellowship was developing. Because like Boromir's like, we can use it, and Gandalf just straight up goes off the handle.
Probably, but I don't want to know who's she. Well, is she talking about Arwen, Galadriel?
Neither of them are in that scene.
Other women.
I mean, you do see a couple really chunky dwarves.
No, I wouldn't. It wasn't that. No, I don't know, but maybe it was a typo. But yeah, but I do want to see Gandalf's like true power because like, and is Sauron like stronger than him? Because I mean, he made him his bitch. So like in that one scene.
At this point, yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's skip ahead to the mines now. That's a pretty important scene that we got coming up next.
Yeah. Yet again, a little bit of a lore dive here.
Okay.
Because the Balrogs are awesome.
Yeah.
50-foot tall, smoke, fire. They're cool.
Yeah.
They're the same race as Gandalf.
Oh.
Just corrupted a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So yeah, they're there, but in the mines when everyone kind of shows up to, it is Balin's tomb.
Right. That's the
before
dwarf.
the troll gets busting through the doors. When they're in that room, the book they pick up from is Ori from The Hobbit.
Okay.
They take, because Ori and Balin, I'm pretty sure both of those were in The Hobbit. But
I remember Balin.
Yeah, they both took over the mines for like 5 years before orcs and goblins took it back.
Okay.
And, murdered everyone.
Yeah, they got fucked up.
Yeah, but Gandalf legitimately takes the book from an old friend.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. So he's reading his friend's last words.
It's like they're coming for us, or they've come in.
And he's reading one of his friend's last words as he like,
oh shit,
is shut and just like
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, actually, it's something that I wanted to point out right before they get into the mines.
Okay.
They have to say it's a riddle. That is like, what's the Elven word? Is it Elven word for friend?
I believe so.
Or the Elvish word for my bad. And then with a straight face, Ian McKellen reads melon.
Melon.
He like looks at Frodo. He's like melon. You know, like, I just had to laugh.
Yeah, he laughed really hard at that.
I don't know. It was just such.
He's
a
like,
weird thing.
did he just say melon? I'm pretty sure that you rewinded that.
Well, actually, okay. So here, following up my stupid note, a cool thing that I kind of noticed that they threw in was that like there's like kind of tribalism between the elves and the dwarves. Like Gimli and Legolas hate each other. I'm like, I thought that was cool. You know, there's like magical racism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though, like,
To get into the lore a little bit, the doors of Moria, the reason they glow is because elves and dwarves had an alliance at the time, and these two really powerful, really famous elves and dwarves came together to build the door, and the elf who built the door is the same one who made the rings.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So wait, so he's like, I got this like glowing magic power. I can make everything glow, and then like puts
Pretty
it in
much,
the ring.
yeah.
That's
Pretty
cool.
much.
Yeah, this movie won 4 fucking Oscars. And like it won a lot of some pretty big ones. It won cinematography, score,
sound editing.
sound.
There was definitely like 2 of them for how things were
just-
audio wise.
I don't know anything about the first 2 movies when it comes to awards. I know the last one got like everything.
Oh,
though.
makeup and effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember something forever ago that they said that all of the mail, like chain mail, was like made like years before the actual movie, because they weren't even sure that this thing was going to get made, and they're like, so like all the workers like in New Zealand are just like all pissed off they never made it.
Yeah. I forget the number of feet and ears they went through, but it was hundreds of thousands of just pairs of feet and ears
Yeah,
just for like 8 actors to walk around set.
Jesus. Wow.
oh well, you live, you learn.
I guess so. Yeah, so we get to You Shall Not Pass. Iconic fucking
great scene.
scene. Just
Yeah,
that's all I have to say about that. Let's say I love that scene.
that's a delicious
probably-
scene right there.
It's honestly probably like my favorite scene. I mean, it's basic as shit, but like it's so
it's
well done.
You know, it's like you strike me down, Darth shall become more powerful than you ever imagined. You know, George
Yeah,
Lucas
but
stole
Ian
that.
McKellen threw his whole chest into it.
Yeah, he did.
He's got like a little wisp of hair like over his like bloody cut. That's cool.
So cool. So cool. And speaking of things that did it better, I mean, like the hero's journey. Like there were other franchises that kind of did the hero's journey a little better than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the hero's journey is about the main character, and the main character Frodo is kind of a damsel in distress most of the time.
He is 3 feet tall.
What, Sam? Sam's like a little, you know, he's the same height, just a little
3
more
and an
plump.
inch, like,
You know, he fucking like he fights with Gimli,
front?
right?
What?
I remember he kicked someone, and like, I don't, was it with Gimli? Like when they're in the mines of Moria. Like he kicks someone and like, go Sam.
I think it was just like one of the goblins or orcs or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, sorry. This is one of my notes for the whole movie, but it's big with the troll. You watch Boromir take a full hit from that cave troll.
Okay.
He just gets full hammered straight in the chest, flies across the room, hits a stone pillar, drops to the ground, and is just like, I'm okay. He then gets hit with 3 arrows and is like, nope, I'm done. I'm just saying.
They were pretty big arrows, though.
Okay, big arrows, sure, but like he got hit with a hammer the size of his torso.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm good. I'm good.
Plot
no
armor,
shield
it's a
block.
thing,
No. Yeah, no, he just got knocked across the room.
Just getting
3 arrows drop him. Okay. Okay, Boromir.
He just believed in Gondor so much in that moment that it saved him.
Now, I understand it's also Sean Bean playing Boromir. But and he has to die in everything. Everything. But like, I think that was his one save as far as movies go. Like,
Yeah.
all right, he should have died here. He's going to die later.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that scene where he does die though, where like
Oh, it's a great scene.
yeah, because
He's
like
just fucking getting wrecked.
I mean, just because I've seen so many like especially I've seen The Walking Dead where they build up like kind of a supporting character for a couple episodes. They started doing that with Boromir towards the end. They had that
Yeah.
like when he's like checking out the broken sword. I don't know I forgot what it's called, but and he's just like, oh, it's still sharp, you know.
Yeah.
And then he's like gives his backstory. He's like, I'm fighting for Gondor and shit. Like if we're gonna restore power to my people or something like that. And then they have like one more scene with him and Aragorn right before that, where he's just like, we're gonna. He basically says the same thing, but like it's like a little more accentuated. So I'm like, he's gonna die. You know? I saw it coming a mile away, and I saw like right when the Uruk-hai like pulls the string. I'm like,
Yeah,
going right for Boromir.
the Predator.
Yeah.
Literally looks like Predator.
Yeah.
It's without the clicking.
Yes, without the clicking and the heat vision. Oh, well, yeah, infrared vision. That's it.
Yeah.
Same
The
thing.
heat vision. Yeah, he's Superman. So getting back to the hero's journey thing we were talking about earlier, like
Right.
Harry Potter does it better.
Yeah.
I mean, you were the one that said this to me. You're like, oh, like Harry Potter does it better than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but like
You said it.
I
bringing it up.
until now I had somehow never watched Lord of the Rings or read any of the books or anything other than just like pop culture references and stuff. And then I grew up on Harry Potter,
Star Wars.
Star Wars, Game of Thrones. You know,
Harry Potter, especially Harry Potter, focuses on
Thrones. That's weird.
a very small group with one being the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings is a group.
yes, 9 people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And sure, a couple of them die, but like they're still brought up later. Like you're like, oh, we traveled with Boromir for a while. Here's his brother, like,
it's like my brother died.
and his dad, and like you have to deal with their problems.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that, like I'm not saying Tolkien wasn't very much influential. I just think
Yeah,
other
very.
authors have been able to refine certain aspects of it. Like, granted, it's like
Improve.
it's kind of like how
what
like
he
our
started.
argument with Tom Holland. He's like the best Spider-Man / Peter Parker overall because he does it both at like a middling level.
Yes.
But like Toby's the best like Peter.
Yes.
He wouldn't be what he is without them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not discounting it, but it's like, man, other people have done like the world building. I think Game of Thrones is more easier to understand when it comes to world building, a little more cleaner. And like Star Wars is better with specifically the hero's journey, and then Harry Potter does the camaraderie aspect a little better. You know?
Yeah.
I got
I'll
you.
agree with that.
That's just my rant. Plus, fucking the pacing in the books. I got a rant about that. The pacing in the books, and it translates to the movies too, because they're 3.5 hours long. Dude needs to cut some shit out. Like,
You haven't gotten. I'm going to say to the worst of it.
really? Is like the second book just all filler?
No, it's for me. It's the Return of the King. One of my favorite things is Theoden's Fall.
Okay.
It is a full, like, 10-page song about
Well-
a character's death.
Oh Jesus.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna skip it.
oh no, when you're reading the book, of course, if it's not your thing, go ahead, skip it.
If I see the little script
Yeah.
font and it's
Yep.
like not the full page, skip it.
Yep. But like the movie, they quote like a good like 4 or 5 lines of it,
Yeah.
like the real heart of it, which was great. But like,
Yeah.
you can't put, a huge, massive song into a movie without making it awkward.
Well, they did that in Euphoria. There's a whole 5-minute scene of this guy singing a song to Rue.
Yeah.
Everyone
Like-
shit on it.
Especially with Lord of the Rings, you can't be doing that because there's a lot of poetry, there's a lot of music, there's a lot
Yeah.
of just everything. Because
Well, I get it.
The
'cause-
arts are more appreciated
yeah.
in this. The arts are more appreciated in a book. And obviously real life is. So like you want to show that it's a slower pacing, but you can't be like, let's just
Yeah.
have Sam sing a song while they're camping. Like,
Well, Tolkien, he came up with his entire world based on the Elvish language. And I think that's pretty cool because he was like a linguistics major.
Yeah.
Right. And so he designed like all the different languages and stuff based on like, because I remember he wanted to write a myth for the British people, you know? And so like you have all like Greek mythology and like Roman gods and shit. He wanted to do that through language, and I thought that was pretty cool. And it's kind of really cool to see it kind of blossom. Like that's how actually he designed the story anyway. Like because we start off with the hobbits, we start off with just Bilbo, then they introduce Gandalf, Frodo, Sam. That expands to at the midpoint where we meet the Council of Elrond, and then the Fellowship goes from there. And then we meet all the characters and shit. So shit gets interesting. So then it all comes together in the end, I'm sure.
Speaking of the end, let's get to the last scene here because we're
okay.
we're running a little.
Well, we got to talk about Galadriel though.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a
The
little
fucking Looking Glass thing shit.
Let's talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be me before actually it was after the Looking Glass thing. They're all getting their little prizes. They're all getting their gifts. The light, all their cloaks, all that.
Oh, okay.
Gimli, and they make a point of this, Gimli gets 3 hairs from her.
Okay.
And it's like,
Got a
why?
kink or something?
No, and it goes back to the Silmarillion, because everything goes back to the Silmarillion.
Yeah.
Galadriel's mother was asked by another major elf for a hair off of her head, and she refused him.
Okay.
And he asked 3 times, and she refused him 3 times. So when Gimli's like, I can't say what I want, but if you are going to ask, this is what I want. I would like I would like 1 hair off your head.
So he asked
Galadriel
anyway.
was just like, well, no, because it was very much like a moment of like, what do you want of me, of the elves?
Oh, okay.
And Gimli was like, no, I don't want anything. But then he's just like, if you're going to ask me, I want 1 hair. And she gave him 3, representing what her mother was asked. Yeah.
Kind of comes full circle.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I was like, I was a kid watching this going, he got a hair? Why? And then, through college, I'm like, oh.
That's a shitty gift.
I mean, it's still stupid, but at least it makes sense now.
All right. Let's talk about the Looking Glass thing.
Yeah. I'm just like, I can't not see fucking, like, I mean, so it's a little different. It tells the future instead of seeing
possible-
the memories and shit.
Possible past, future. Well, it shows past, present, and then possible futures.
Oh, okay. So he's like kind of like what is it called? A banshee? No, it's not a banshee.
The seeing eye,
Yeah, like he sees like I get it. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, Joan stole that too.
Yep. She did. But yeah, that Galadriel scene where she just goes off the deep end, that was fucking weird. Like that is just the weirdest scene in the witch. It's like, whoa, did not expect that coming. But yeah, it's just her being influenced by the ring. So I mean,
Yeah,
because yet again, Frodo's being a dick and
yeah.
offering,
you want it? Do you want
offering a dark, evil power to like a very powerful individual.
4,000-year-old elf.
Yeah,
Yep.
with a ring of power herself.
Oh, so she would have 2?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's like the Infinity Stones.
Just gonna Galadriel, just like.
Oh man.
But but after that they, from what I remember, they just the chapter, because I kind of like looked ahead. It's called The Breaking of the Fellowship, and Galadriel kind of foreshadows that. We're just like, it's already begun. Gandalf's gone, and now Boromir's gonna get fucked up. And then everyone, so they basically have one more fight scene at the river, and then they break up. It's like so say Aragorn. Or Pippin and Merry get fucking kidnapped.
Yes.
Yeah.
They offered themselves as tribute.
And then Frodo's just like, you can't come with me, Sam. And then Sam's like, I'll suck your dick.
It's fucking drowning in the goddamn.
Yeah. Sam, you can't swim.
I don't care, Mr. Frodo.
Yep. Yeah, Boromir gets fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
so
basically
bad.
where it ends.
So the fight, yet again, behind the scenes thing, Vigo did everything with real steel.
Yeah, I didn't know
So
that.
he
That's
had
cool.
an actual steel sword on him, which was a good thing because they also used the steel knife. So when he's fighting that Uruk-hai, that knife was supposed to be thrown 10 feet behind him, and they were going to use CG to move it over so it'd actually be thrown at Aragorn.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the makeup messed up the extra's aim, and he hucked it straight at Vigo, and he deflected an actual knife being thrown at him at full velocity.
Oh, that's sick.
So that deflection is legit.
Oh my god. That's kind of mildly terrifying.
Yeah, no. Viggo Mortensen is an absolute badass, and I love it.
I'm just having flashbacks to like the Alec Baldwin incident.
Oh god. No.
Almost.
Yeah, it's like it could have been really bad.
We're not going there.
Like a lot of the actors were using prop weapons that weren't steel. They looked steel, but they weren't. And Vigo's like, no, I will use real steel.
Like with like blade, like a.
It was a dulled edge, but it was
okay.
still steel.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So like if he hit you with his prop sword,
Jesus.
it would hurt like hell. Possibly.
if I was an
cut
extra,
you.
I would just be like, "You dick!"
Yeah.
Like hit my finger.
Because of Legolas's lifespan,
Okay.
the whole Lord of the Rings thing
Yeah.
is just like a wild weekend in comparison.
Just like Thor.
Like
Everything.
Yeah. Legolas has been alive for like 1,500 years, and they're just like, oh, so where were you for like a block of time? He's like, oh, I was destroying the One Ring of Power. Oh, that was cool, man. Yeah.
Like you
Watched
saved the
Helm's Deep
world.
fall.
Save the world in a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have any more stuff on like the actual movie, but like, I want your guys' opinion on the new show that's coming out, The Rings of Power. Like, what's your
I
thoughts?
know nothing about it, so.
I am avoiding everything so I can just watch it.
Yeah.
What are you, Nate?
Skeptical from what I've seen of it so far, but there hasn't really been enough announced about it, except like the one thing I find concerning is they said they're going to make it like Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones, George R. R. Martin did an interview where he specifically said, I've made Game of Thrones so dark and gritty to be like the exact opposite of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So I'm skeptical.
From one of the things that I did see about this, I'm pretty sure they're doing Silmarillion First Age sort of things.
I've heard they're doing the Second Age, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
I'm following a couple YouTubers who are huge diehard Lord of the Rings fans, and they're upset. Like they're always reporting about like the trailers got ratioed, and like I guess like so like they're saying something about like the dwarves. All the dwarves should have beards, even
Yes.
the women.
Yes.
And there's like a big like the dwarf queen doesn't have a beard, and
Yeah,
everyone's
that's my
upset about
problem.
that.
She doesn't have a beard.
Okay, so yeah.
But no, like one of my favorite stories from Tolkien is The Children of Húrin.
Mm-hmm.
A lot about the King of Man, but the end of that book ends very much like a Game of Thrones story.
Mm-hmm.
Like kills himself after banging his sister and fighting a dragon.
Oh, there you go. That's Game of Thrones.
Like yeah.
Straight out of George's mind.
Yeah, exactly. But like years prior.
Damn.
So like it's a possibility, but like
Yeah. I heard that they're like condensing like the Second Age is like thousands of years, right? I heard they're condensing it down to like 2 months or something like that.
Jesus.
So I've only heard really concerning things about the show. I don't know anything about it, so I'm not gonna be like judge it or anything. But like it sounds like a good portion of the fandom doesn't like it and they're concerned. So
Okay.
who knows?
I mean, there's always the concern every time any sort of book is made into a movie. So
Yeah. But like this is different though, because
Yes.
like because I got that YouTube took away the dislike button So, but I got that plug-in that you can still see it. And I'm looking at, like, it's like 50-50. Like,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So, I don't know. But everyone loves these movies, you know. I gotta say, well, I guess that kind of goes into our ratings, you know, if we want to start rating.
Hold on. Oh yeah, what if Sam just died right there?
That'd be fucking funny, dude.
Funny as shit. He fucking dies.
We definitely see
Talk
the
about
future
Game
that
of
was shown in.
Aragorn's just getting like attacked by all these fucking goblins or whatever the hell they are. He's just like, how does he even like compete with that? Like they're all like
Viggo Mortensen,
mauling
bro.
him.
I mean,
Yeah.
he deflected a real knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, it's like, what the fuck? It's
So it's one of the favorite running gags from Return of the King and Two Towers. Gimli and Legolas start keeping body counts in battle. And in Helm's Deep, like Gimli and Legolas are like 20, 25, and like Aragorn's like 45. What?
It's fucking great,
that's
though.
about right. All right, let's start with ratings. Who wants to start? Out of 100%, what do you? Nate, how about you start? What do you give the movie out of 100%?
This series is my favorite movie series of all time, and the first one is my favorite out of them. So 100%.
100%. Ooh, baby.
Interesting. So, Pat, what about you?
I very much I'm close to that. Like I'm in the 95 because I know there's some things from the book that I wanted to see.
Okay.
I don't remember them right now because I need to reread and life.
Honestly, I'm gonna give it a solid 88. It was really well done. I enjoyed most of this movie. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of walking, but like some of the stuff, like the wraiths, those things were awesome. Any scene that featured them, I loved it because I'm a little emo boy and I just love it. So
You just know they got eyeliner underneath those
dude,
hoods.
it's just like Batman. They got all the eyeliner underneath. Yeah, it's great.
100%.
Playing something in the way in the background. So anyway, Danny, what do you give it?
I'm really conflicted on this one. I just, like I said before, I've seen aspects of this series done better when I was growing up, and I have a lot of nostalgia attached to other franchises. So I'm going into this with fresh eyes, and considering that like nothing happens, like they just walk, you know, and like, and I know that's the meme and everything, but it's like they just walk, you know, so. But I do understand this is very beloved, and the characters are great. Like, there really isn't a bad character in the movie, and that's what stories are based off of. If you have good characters, it's usually a good story. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of agree with you. 88. You know, I'm not
Maybe original bitch.
fine 85, but I'm always the 85 guy. You know, so I don't want to be.
Okay, so 88.
88.
Okay,
I like it. It's
another 5-star for us, Danny.
is it?
It's a 5-star. 100 for Nate, 95 for Pat, and then 88 for us. It's a 5-star.
That's almost 90. So yeah, probably. Wow, our fourth 5-star movie in back to back.
Yeah,
because we did Spider-Man 2. That was our 5-star.
Spider-Man 2 last week.
Yeah,
How about that? That's
interesting.
very interesting.
But yeah, 88.
88. So, yeah, we are Seen It Before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle at Seen It Beforecast. That's SCENE, It Beforecast. I'm Dan.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Danny_Was, my letterbox, DJ Was, or my YouTube channel, which is Danny Was. Pat.
And anybody else want to?
I mean, I said this. I said this when I did Marvel. I'm a ghost.
He's a ghost.
Yep.
If you can find me, good job.
He's off the grid. Nate, you want to do your social media? Or are you good?
I'm good.
All right.
Also a ghost.
All right. We got 2 ghosts here. We got 2 wraiths. All right.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. Keep an eye out on the socials for our teases that we post every Friday. Different stuff we have coming up. We have another big franchise we're going to do in a couple months that you can all look forward to. We're going to be doing video podcasts from now on, as we mentioned last week. And yeah, that's about it, I think. Yeah.
Stay cool.
No, not stay cool. It's
Been an honor.
It's been an honor.
Yeah. Stay cool.
We'll see you next time.